What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Today we are back at it with another car review. Now, what car are we reviewing? Well, it's this 2020 Dodge Durango RT. So I'm gonna get right into this video and we're gonna cover these certain things. We're gonna cover the interior, the exterior, exterior then interior, and then we're gonna be covering the functionality of the vehicle. I'm gonna go through everything and see, is it worth it? Does it do everything that SUV should do? Then I'm going to take it for a drive and we're going to see exactly how it does on the road performance wise. And then at the end, I'm just going to give you my final opinion on it. And I'm going to be as unbiased as possible. Even though I am a Dodge lover, I can be honest as well. So let's get into it. No more talking. Cue the beat roll. So let's start off with the thing I love the most about this SUV, and that is the exterior. The exterior is absolutely stunning. I love the actual hood of it, and it's very similar to a Dodge Charger or something like the Dodge Hellcat. If you notice, you have your heat inductors here that lets the air out of the engine bay. Then you also have your functioning hood scoop here, so forcing air into the engine. As you can tell down here, we have some more vents feeding this big radiator, and then you got some more vents allowing more air into the engine. You got functioning air scoops down there. Even down here, you have functioning air scoops, plus functionality with the fog lights, which is very nice. What makes this car much different than the others, as you can see, is it doesn't have that grille, you know, that big T that's synonymous with Dodge. I personally love this flat look. There's nothing there. It just screams Dodge, which I absolutely love. Just aggressive look, and on top of that, this color scheme is amazing with the billet silver and the flat black, two stripes going from the front of the car all the way to the back of it, giving it that mean look. I absolutely love the exterior. Now, as we go around, we have 20-inch rims, so that's some big wheels. And being a Dodge owner, that's not cheap. Yes, you can find cheap wheels. I owned a Durango myself, and the wheels were not cheap at all, just because big car, big tires, right? Also, these are 295 wheels, so to be honest with you, that's a lot of meat, considering this is a 375 horsepower engine. It is an all-wheel drive, so that means that performance-wise, it's going to grip nicely, and I got to give it to Dodge there. This seems like this is a nice tire to engine ratio, if that's a real thing. It just seems like that combination together works well together. I also love about this color combo itself, I think everybody should do this, is that flat black looks so nice. Even with the lettering, you get the flat back Hemi, and then you also have these LED lights here, you know, these turning signals, but this is also a nice black accent for the car itself, complementing the color scheme. Then as we go around, you have the synonymous Dodge tail lights that go with, you know, the Chargers and the old Challengers. Now the Challengers have split, but it just stays true to Dodge. Then you have that infamous RT badge stating that this is a Hemi, this is a V8. Also, as we go down here, boom, you have that 4. What that 4 means is 4-wheel drive, so everything hooks. Now, also down here, you have a little area here. This would be for the hit tow, and this Durango can tow up to 7,200 pounds, so that is a nice sized boat. And you got your dual exhaust in the back, which is nice, giving it that performance look. And then as you wrap around, it's the same on the other side. It's just an absolutely gorgeous vehicle, and Dodge did an amazing job with this one. So let's go ahead and get into the interior of this beautiful machine here, and let's see, is it as good as it is on the outside? Because honestly, the outside is just stunning. I'm really curious to see what it looks like on the inside. Did Dodge change anything from the past 2-3 years? I don't know. Let's figure it out. So here we are on the interior of the car, and like I said before, did it change much? This has been my knock on Dodge. you know, with the Chargers and the Challengers, and that is nothing changes on the interior. Now, like I said, I owned a 2016 Dodge Durango, and to be honest with you, it's the same inside as it was 5 years ago. So that could be a knock, but it does not mean that the car is not great. And the reason why I say that is because just because the car didn't change doesn't mean the functionality left. The car is very useful. It's got USB ports throughout the whole car. It's got great size cup holders, a beautiful infotainment screen, which we're going to get into in just a second, easy accessible buttons, and nothing seems overcomplicated like some places, some cars, you just like, well, what's this do? What's that do? This is pretty self-explanatory, and I got to give it to Dodge. Even though they don't change much, it just makes sense for the things that they're doing. As far as that goes, come inside, come see what I'm looking at, and let's go over that. So we're going to switch camera angles and go into the wide angle lens. I love this view because I can give you guys a good perspective of what I'm seeing. Now, as you can see here, let me open this door back up. You have that. This is basically just this nice plastic, rubberish kind of paneling, nothing fancy. But this is the same leather that goes throughout the interior of the car itself, which is nice. Then you also have your memory seats here. It's not a very fancy door panel, but like I said, functionality, and it just makes sense. You have your regular, you know, door switches and window switches. You have your speakers. You have your memory seats, which is very nice, especially when you have a significant other who's smaller than you. Now we come over here. Classic Dodge steering wheel. This is the same steering wheel that's on any Charger or any Challenger. What's nice about it is, even though it's an SUV, it doesn't seem like it's a large steering wheel. So no matter your size, you feel like you can control this car nicely. You don't feel too small. Also, as we go around here, you have your headlights that can control, you know, auto and all those different types of lights. Then you can control the interior lights of the car itself. Gas fuel tank here. So basically, if I press this button here, it'll open up the door. So on mine, for example, on my Durango, on my Challenger, if I were to, the Challenger has a little door, right? So that's cool. But with this right here, you press this button and it opens up. The bad thing is if that door breaks, it's not gonna open. And let me show you what I mean. Here it is here. See, right here? Nothing. It's nice, it looks cool and all this stuff. But ours, on my Durango, it did break. So basically what happened was there's a hook in here and it wouldn't go up. So the problem was, if I pressed that door, it wouldn't come out. So it was a two-team job to get this fixed. So key to that, if that breaks, you're gonna have to quickly take that in, and it's a pain in the butt because, you know, you would have to have a two-man job. I'd have to ask people at the pump to help me out and open the door. It was a pain in the butt. All right, let's go back over to the next thing. So we got the Infotainment Center. How it looks is what I was mentioning. It's the same as the other Durangos before. Mine did not have this chrome finish. I'm not sure if maybe it was because of a trim model, or maybe they just didn't have it back then. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this car. It's a very quiet car, being that it's a V8 and it's that 375 horsepower engine. I'm really surprised how quiet it is. But actually, I'm not surprised, because that's a knock. These RTs are pretty quiet, even though they're big beast of an engine. So as you can see here, let me see if I can zoom in here. As you can see, we have that nice digital screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the car real quick so we're not in the sun. Now we move the car, we have this nice gauge cluster, what Doug DeMuro says, and he's the king of car reviews. But as you can see here, we have the nice dials going around. Everything is digital in here. It was all off before, versus the Dodge Chargers and Challengers. They had traditional dials in there, but it's cool. It kind of gives it that cool look, that nice digital screen. Now also different is the actual font itself. It's kind of italicized, a little more glossy, kind of like an epic movie, if you would, because you can kind of see like a fade, which is pretty cool. Now, as we go through into the Infotainment Center itself, we have it on, and, you know, somebody's been listening to Ozzy's Boneyard on Sirius XM. So, anyways, Infotainment Center, it's the same across all Dodges. You have your AC, you can control your vents, control your seats. You can control your heated steering wheels if you want to go through that, if you want. Heated steering, heated seats. Everybody has all that. That's nice. Navigation is going to load up just like the other ones. Very responsive. I wonder if that's just because it's on, you know, this year, but I would like to see what happens in the next couple years. But that's probably what you don't care about right now, because of the fact that you're gonna buy this tomorrow. Now, as we go down in here, I love the shifter. The shifter in the past used to be one we had with just a knob very similar to this. But this one had that shifter that is in the Charger and in the Dodge Challenger. These cup holders are nice. They're nice and deep, and they hold some nice sized cups. They really do. This right here, the ring going inside, this does illuminate at night, which is really nice, to be honest with you. I like anything with lights, especially at night, because you can see that in your car. It's a nice little touch. Then you got the functionality point, like I said, USB ports. You have 1, 2, and you have an auxiliary cable. And then you come down here, you have a 12-volt charger, so which is nice. All cool things, very functional. It just makes sense as far as SUVs go. So kudos to Dodge. Again, that's a plus. Though I said they don't change much, it just makes sense with everything they have. You have SOS, you have assist, you have your regular garage door openers that you can set. You have lights. It just makes sense. You have a button in the back. If I press that, my back door opens. I'm not going to open it right now because I'm doing a review. But then you got your sunglass holder. It's the same thing that's on every Dodge, but it just works, you know. If it ain't broke, why fix it? Back to the actual gauge cluster. Now, this steering wheel isn't just any steering wheel, okay? It's pretty smart, which is really cool about Dodge. They left a lot of stuff here in the steering wheel. It's very easy to control compared to other steering wheels that I've had. Maybe it's just because I'm used to it, but in my opinion, I think these are the easiest ones to use. As you can see here, it's real simple. You hit that to turn on cruise control. Hit that to turn it off. If it's on, you just hit set, and then it'll set. And if you keep on pressing that button, it'll increase it. You also have paddle shifters, which is really nice. You can also cancel your cruise control. So if you're in the middle of driving, it's nice. Also over here, this controls everything. Very simple, like a remote control. As you can see here, if I start moving around, just pressing the up button is gonna move up. It makes sense. And if I want to control my speed, it's just real easy to do. It tells you everything you need. If you want to do your tire pressure and you want to go left and right, right now we're in vehicle info. So it's telling me the trans temp. It's telling me the oil temperature. You know, all neat features. As I go down, it's telling me the fuel average right now. Not a great fuel average, and that's just because it's a brand new car. So it's been parked for a long time. But these cars do get around in the high 3s, close to 400 miles on the range, which is pretty good considering it's a V8. And you can control your music. You can see any error messages. If your tires were down low, you need oil change. If it's telling you to check your engine, it'll tell you all that stuff here, which is pretty cool. You can also set up the custom. You can customize your gauge cluster here. If you have the northwest, you have your 80 degrees outside, which is actually nice outside, which is cool. But you can also change that. You can change that to how much your range is. You can change how much miles you have left on your tank. You can control all those things. So let me show you. I want to change the setup, and I want the compass, or I go upper left. I want a compass. I want the outside temperature. I want the time. These are all simple things you can do. They're not complicated. It's really simple to do, and I mean, to be honest with you, it just reminds me of an iPhone. It really does. It just makes sense, and everything works. So I'm gonna go ahead and back out of here, and we're gonna go to the back of the car. No more talking about the front. You see what I like about it. It works. Now let's see the practicality of it if you have a family of 5 or 6. All right, let's hop into the back. Now I'm in the back seat of the car. I was sitting up front and very comfortably. There was really nothing that I would change as far as settings go, so it was excellent. And I have plenty of room in the back seat. Yes, it's an SUV, so it better have some room, am I right? But I mean, it's really roomy back here. This is something that I would definitely go on a long trip. If my wife was driving and I had a kid in the back, had to babysit, it wouldn't be a problem at all. These seats do recline, if I'm correct. Yes, they do. So if I want to, actually, they're all the way back. So as you can see here, I'll go all the way back. It's nice, has a nice recliner seat. That thing about knocked the wind out of me. It does come up pretty fast, but it's pretty cool. I'm gonna bring you on inside. You're gonna see exactly what I'm seeing and see what I like about it. And so far, it's pretty good. So now we're in the back of the car, and like I mentioned before, you got through plenty of knee room. You also, before we close the door, you have a cup holder here. Maybe like a water bottle or something. I wouldn't have anything without a lid because then it's going to fall over, obviously. But a nice water bottle would be nice. You have that same paneling before. Real simple, and that's really cool. It's simple. You don't need to do much. As we go through, plenty of knee room. We go down here. We have air vents down here you can control. You can also have USB ports to charge your tablets or anything back here. You also have your traditional outlet, so irregular like laptop outlets or anything like that, which is also something that's pretty cool. My Durango didn't have that. And you have heated steering wheels, which is really nice. Something I didn't point out before, these seats have a beautiful leather. They're not the same as the Hellcat leather, which the Hellcat has a very nice Laguna soft leather, but this does have a nice sturdy leather, and this is very important when you have kids and people sitting in your car and kind of moving around. It is the SUV, so it will get a lot of action. So you want that durable leather. Then you have that nice, it's like a suede, almost like Alcantara. I'm not sure if it is, to be honest with you, but it's like a suede material inserts going way down, so you have some nice grip. So if they do want to punch it and you want to give the kids a ride, they'll have fun with that. Now, if you notice back here, I have this traditional chair. It's not the most comfortable chair. It's just that third row that probably won't be used as much. If you are a soccer mom or soccer dad, you will get some usage out of this, and it's pretty comfortable. It's not the most comfortable, but considering I've compared it to the Hyundai Palisade, it's very similar as far as comfort goes. So I will give it that, and that's pretty nice. The leather does continue out through there. If you want to bring that chair down, you have a full bed back there, which is pretty nice. And then also you have some cup holders and some nice leather armrests. All cool. And then also, if we come up here, you have AC vents throughout the ceiling of the car. So if you want to control your AC back there, it's all great. And not only that, this is controlled by this here, not the front. The problem with the one that controls the whole car is obviously everybody's got to suffer. This one, if this guy wants to be cool in the back and the person up front wants to be nice and hot, they can do so. No questions asked, no complaining. There might be some fighting in the back, but who cares? You're the parent and you can sit up front and be quiet. Wanted to show you this. So this right here is a step. So if you guys are, you have a kid and they just want to walk through and go to the back, that's the whole beauty of captain's chairs. They don't have that center console here. Our Durango was a full bench seat in the middle. That was kind of an inconvenience because of the fact that you had to lower this down to go to the back. Now you don't have to do that with that nice captain's chair. They can walk through, no questions asked. Now, where I can see this being a problem, having a family and having a klutzy child, is cup holders down here. Not the smartest thing. I understand why they did it, and it is pretty cool. But let's say, for example, you have a Jack and Jill, right? Then little Jimmy decided to run through the back, and he kicks these cups over. Next thing you know, you got water all over the place. You have yelling because Jack and Jill are blaming Jimmy, and Jimmy saying, I didn't mean to. And I can just hear it right now, and then I can just hear the parents saying, stop it. You stop it. No, don't make me go back there. And the next thing you know, we have World War III. So we don't want that. So that could be an inconvenience for families. But it does make sense. So let's go ahead and go into the back of the car itself, and I'm going to show you what it is to be back there, and I'm going to sacrifice for you guys. So, 1 second. All right. So we're in the back, and it's not the most roomiest thing for a guy that's 6 feet. My knees are touching here. So, and his seat is not reclined all the way back, meaning if he does recline it, I'm going to have no knees, and that won't be good. So kids will probably be back here. Or if you're going on a lunch trip and you're carrying your gang of lunch guys, it would be okay for that short trip. But for adults back here, not the best. Also, though, as I'm sitting here, there is an AC vent down there, and it is blowing my feet, and it feels absolutely amazing. That is a kudos for me. Now you have your arm holders, your arm rests here. This is a nice rubberized material. It is not leather going like the rest of the car. Nice rubberized material. And then you also have your cup holders, which is a good size, a nice deep size. And that's pretty much it. It's just simple, to the point. It's functional. And it just seems like that rings through with Dodge all the way. Dodge is just simple. They're Challengers or Chargers. The interiors are simple and they just make sense. Versus their engine is where all the performance is. Now you have a 375 horsepower engine in the front of that SUV. And you're probably thinking, big whoop. But you know what? That 375 horsepower engine itself has been there for a long time. and nobody's complained about the engine. That shows you how good that engine is, because if you think about it, it's been around for a while. It's been over 10 years, I want to say. Close to 10 years. Shoot, over 10 years that you've had that V8 engine in there. The same engine. And nobody's complained. And Dodge is continuing to put out SUVs and cars and trucks and outselling other cars. So that shows you how good that engine is. So we're going to go ahead and hop in the front and see exactly how good it is, so I can talk about it even more. Go ahead and get into the hood of the car and see what this RT is all about. I'm gonna do my magic snappy fingers. As you can tell, we are in the hood. That's how quick I am. And we have our 5.7 V8 engine. She is a Hemi, and that's where all this beauty comes in. Very beautiful engine, very large engine bay. I really do like that a lot. A knock on this one, in my opinion, I kind of wish there was color in here. It's all black inside, which is nice because it actually complements the car. But having maybe some different accent colors will kind of make this engine bay pop. Mopar is known for their orange, and I would personally maybe do a little orange in there, or just a little bit of accent colors would be very nice to have. There's a lot of aftermarket features that you can add to your engine to kind of make it look nice. But I'll be honest with you, I just wish to add a little bit more to it, make their engines pop straight off the factory. But to each his own, and that's just my personal opinion. So as I pointed out before, this is all functioning here. As you can see in here, there's your radiator, and you can see my hand right there. So that air coming in here is going into the engine bay, forcing it through and giving this engine a lot more oxygen and power, utilizing that 375 horsepower. Now also we have our cold air intake, which tends to be something that people get rid of, but honestly I wouldn't get rid of it, because if Mopar did it, the factory did it, why get rid of it? Yes, I know there's other performance parts, but stock, this is a great intake, and you can't go wrong. All right guys, now we are in the SUV, and let's go for a spin. Exactly how does this thing drive? So the price of this SUV is around $50,000. Now that may be a steep price considering, you know, it's just an SUV, but that's pretty common in this price range. But here's the thing, this isn't really $50,000. It's actually, if you go online and you go onto our website, they offer enough discounts around to get you around $7,000 off. So pretty much comes out to like $43,000, which is a really $43,000 to $44,000. That's a really good price considering this is a brand new SUV. You're talking 375 horsepower, plenty of power. I mean, it's excellent. I'll put you down a little bit. It hunkers, it hooks. Just a beautiful sound. The muffler is kind of quiet. Don't get me wrong. The exhaust on it, the exhaust note, if you would call it, it is kind of quiet. But that's not what you're here for. This is just basically it's SUV, right? But it does have the potential to be a muscle car, which I absolutely love about Mopar. They respect the whole muscle car game. I really do enjoy that. As far as the drive goes, it has plenty of comfort. I'm absolutely in love with the comfort. I think it's very soft. As I'm getting in it, I just miss my old Durango. I thought, to be honest with you, I quickly had amnesia with this car. Once I got rid of it, I was just like, you know, out of sight, out of mind. And then when I got into this car and started driving it, I just had flashbacks, and I just feel like I wanted to buy another one. But it's just an amazing vehicle, it really is. You feel high up at the same time, but the steering wheel doesn't make you feel like you're in this big SUV. You just feel like you're in a car. But at the same time, you have that presence of height. So basically, if you have Napoleon syndrome, this is good for you. You know, my wife in particular, she has that Napoleon syndrome where she's little and she, you know, wants to feel big. She loves big trucks, big SUVs, and this is it for her. So this car does have lane assist, and what that lane assist does is basically if somebody's coming on my left, like right now, it lights up orange, and it's letting you know that, hey, somebody's in your left lane, which is really good and really nice because of the fact that if I'm spending $40,000, $50,000 on an SUV or any car, you want your car protected in any way, form, or fashion, right? So this is really nice. My car does not have it. Dodge does offer this in certain packages. I'm not sure if this is going to be a standard going across the board. It would be nice just include that, but it's not required. But it's very nice, and it's something that I would very well get. The side view mirrors are very large, so you do get a lot of visual, but there is still blind spots, and I would want to protect my car at all costs. It is so soft. It really is. I love the leather on this car. I love the leather on this steering wheel. It's very nice, very soft, but this road that I'm on is not the most smooth road, and it's actually very comfortable. I'm very high up. I don't feel my knees scrunched. You know, when you have a car, your knees are kind of low to the ground. If the car's small, your legs are bent, therefore you start getting cramps, right? Your legs start getting stiff, things like that. Being in this car is just very high up. It's like being in a high chair almost. Obviously more comfortable, and it's very easy on the legs to get out of, which is very nice because especially if you have a bad back, anything like that, you're just stepping down into a standing position versus when you're in a car or if anything low, it's like you're having to get up, you know, and that can be tough on the legs. Something that I pointed out earlier was that the engine is kind of dated, right? It's a 5.7 liter V8. But to be honest with you, at one point I thought it was a knock, and now that I'm going towards it, I actually think it's an amazing feat because of the fact that the engine is over 15 years old, the model itself. It's been the same engine for the past 12, 15 years. And what I mean by that is this car is the same engine that's been in the V8s in 2008, 2006. It's the same engines. And to say that this car is still selling, this engine is still selling, that's a great statement. I'm driving on a very bumpy road right now. And you can probably tell just a little bit. And I'm telling you, this is a really bumpy road. Holy cow, it's pretty bumpy. But at the same time, it's pretty comfortable. I don't feel it in my back or nothing like that. It is what it is. Like I said, this is a very unforgiving road, and I can't stress that enough. Holy cow. I really went down the most bumpiest road that they got. All in all, this is an amazing drive. Like, come on, this is pretty cool. The good thing about having an SUV is that you're not low to the ground, right? So when you're in situations like this, if I was in my car, it would hurt. It would be expensive, hitting bottom of bumpers, scraping everything. It stinks. It really does. Having this SUV gives you that ability to just take over the road. I've been in some cars and SUVs that you can ride over a nickel and you can tell if it's heads or tails. And this one is great. It really does handle its environment very well, and I got to give it a plus there. I love the feel of it. I love the shifter being here. I don't like the knob that they used to have. I really do dig the shifter because you feel more control if you have to back up and move around. I like that feel, which is that classic shifter. The shifter isn't the normal shifter where you have a nice little knob on it. It's got a nice, almost like a handle, which is a little more ergonomic, which I like. All right, so let's wrap this up and tell you exactly how I feel about it. I'm gonna get right to the point. It's all in a nice, pretty little package for you guys. First off, let's start off with the exterior. I love the exterior. It's my favorite thing. It's the one thing that I mentioned right off the bat. I said this is my favorite thing on this car, and that is the front of this SUV. I love the grille. I love the flat look. I love that open mouth type look. It gives it that aggression. Now the V6, Citadel, and all that, they're all great cars, don't get me wrong, but that SUV, it kind of looks tame. This right here looks like a beast. When I tell you I had a V8 in it, you're like, man, that's a V8. You know what I'm saying? If I saw that Citadel with a V8, I really wouldn't even know. You wouldn't know. It just looks so tame, and it looks like a normal SUV. Having this type of grille that I'm showing here is just absolutely amazing. Having that aggressive look. You have the heat inductors coming out. They have that Hellcat look. You have that functioning hood scoop that's there, and of course everything is functioning up front, grabbing in more air, pushing it into the engine, which is excellent. I love the color combo here. It's the billet silver with the flat black stripes. I think that's a great feature. Honestly, you can take the silver billet out of it and go with high octane red or any different color, and you can put it on this SUV and it will look great with that stripe. So ultimately what I'm saying is get stripes on your SUV. It looks amazing. It adds around 25 horsepower. It's been scientifically proven. It's just excellent. It really is. Now, as far as interior goes, interior can be it's a pro and a con, and I'm kind of torn in between the two, is because nothing changes. I always say that all the time. Nothing's changed over the past 5-6 years in the Dodge Durango, and that could be a knock. But there's something to say about comfort. There's something to say about getting in a car and understanding where you're at, understanding your settings because you've been in it before. It just You kind of just adapt. You get a newer model, you get some new features, absolutely. Does it justify spending, you know, another $40,000? You know what I'm saying? Because just say you paid off your old Durango. Does it justify getting, you know, upgrading from a 16 to 2020? Does it? You know what? It probably does, because of the fact that this grill is relatively new, and I think it's totally worth it. So that's where I would, you know, you would upgrade for, is your looks, and that's okay. But as far as interior goes, you're going to get that nice upgrade of that exterior. And when you come inside, your interior is going to be just like you never left. So that's a pretty nice thing. Now, as far as performance goes, I mentioned before, performance-wise, this engine is excellent. And how excellent is this engine? Well, they've been making it for the past 12 to 15 years. Everybody has this engine. All of Dodge's old cars have this engine. Their Chargers or Challengers, I think their Dodge Magnums even had this 5.7 liter V8. I mean, it's just an excellent excellent engine. How do I rank this car? Is it an excellent car? Is it worth $50,000? I'm kind of torn on the $50,000, but knowing that you can get the discount and you can get it for $44,000, I think it's a steal for $44,000. We bought ours used, and it was about 2 years old, and we paid like 20, I want to say like 30 grand for it. After trade-in and everything, it was a little bit less, but still, it held its value really nicely. These V8s do hold their value very nicely, so I will give it that. So it is a pro, and I would take it. I would actually do think the $44,000 is worth it. If you are interested in this model is for sale by Phillips, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And it's for sale here for $44,000 right now with all the discounts that they have. So come and get it. If you want to look at it, my buddy John will hook you up. And just tell him that I sent you, Cruise Ship 72, and he'll hook you up. My buddy Jon Gonyer's info will be in the description below. Just go ahead and give him a call, and you can message him, call him, email him, whatever you need to do, and he will get you taken care of. I promise you. That guy is Mopar through and through. Guys, that is my video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing to my videos. It means the world to me that you guys keep up with me, keep in touch with me. It really does. I do my best to answer all my comments below and all the questions that I have. I learn every day on YouTube working with you guys, and I really do appreciate it. Well, guys, that is my video. I will see you on the next one. Be blessed, drive safe, peace. And I can't get to you guys, so I'll give you a, oh man, I don't pass the dealership. I gotta go back. Just give me a second to get over, and I'll hit you guys in just a minute.